So America the beautiful, America the brave and beautiful, Americana the brave and beautiful is different than white America. They're just two different things. And so the distinction is white America is what, 60 to 70% of America is white. So when you talk about white America, you're talking about a piece of America, but not the entire America. When you speak about all of America, well, I mean, if you want to call all of America white America, then you're ignoring all your brown and black brothers that you went to school with. That, I mean, so to me it's just obvious that America is not white America. America is brown America. America is black America. America is white America. America, to me, is also an idea. America, to me, is freedom and democracy. So while we are 50 specific states and 5 colonies and 900 military bases in 150 countries, America is freedom. America is democracy. America is not a color. America is not white. America is red, white, and blue. America is brown, black, and white, and red and yellow. America started out by being brown for 30,000 years. Even black folks are brown, and I've never ever seen a purely white person, a pure lily white Caucasian albino, except for Powder, which is a fictional character from a 1990s movie. So America ain't just white. America's never been just white, and I don't like that America would just be just white. I think that it's okay for you to be happy for your culture and your heritage. I can't stand racism. I think race is a social construct. So whereas some people only see white, brown, and black, other people see mahogany and peach and all these other better, more specific colors. I've never seen an actual literal white or black person ever in my life. But we've always had a non-white population here in the Americas for 15 to 30,000 years, including in these 50 nifty United States. So 10 to 100 million Native Americans used to frolic around in these meadows. So America is freedom. America is democracy. America is freedom. America is democracy. America is everybody. America is red, white, and blue. America is brown, black, and white, and Asian too. What color are the Asians? I mean, are they white, right? Brown, mahogany, peach. So I think that the Asians are the number 2 immigrant group. I was trying to write down the idea. I should look this up, but it feels to me that it's the country, the national statistics, it's like 70% white, 18% Hispanic, brown, Mexican, 17% black, I guess Chicano American. So the brown Americans are above, they are higher, they have a bigger number than the black Americans. And Asians are immigrating at a pretty, I think at the highest rate. So I'm not sure what the total national is, and those numbers actually add up to more than 100%. But that's in generally speaking, right? The Hispanics barely beat the blacks. The blacks are about 14, 15, 16, 17%. Whites are about 60 to 70%. A couple Asians, maybe 1 or 2%, maybe 5%. But browns are the biggest minority, blacks are the second biggest, and then Asians. And then people are saying by 2050, 2051, then white people will be the minority. Uh-oh! Watch out, white people! Oh no, you're going to be the minority, oh no! What we should have been doing from the beginning, this would have solved the whole slavery thing, this would have solved the whole genocide thing. We should have just integrated. Right? We're all the fucking same. We're all the fucking same. So we're right, red, white, and blue, right? We are brown. We are brown, black, and white, and red and yellow. Red, white, and blue. We're all the colors of the rainbow. We're every single color. We're all a bunch of immigrants. We come from all different places. We're the great melting pot and the salad bowl, both. So I don't mind that people want to say that they're African Americans. I don't mind that if white people want to get in touch with their European roots. That's fine. Know who the hell you are. I think that's better. That's more better than just saying that you're just white, just a bland white. You're just a conformist. You're just jumping into the pool of whiteness, and you're just like anybody and everybody else. You're just going to be, what, just disappear into the invisibility of conformity? So, ultimately, this has to do with Jacqueline, the reason why I'm talking about any of this. So that 7-year-old Guatemalan girl did not deserve to die. She did not deserve to die. So, whether or not Donald Trump is a racist, we could debate about. It seems like he's a racist. It seems like he's racialist, too, to where it's not exactly clear that there's hatred. He's definitely dog whistling. But there's pieces of shit out here that doesn't give a shit about Jacqueline because she's got brown skin. Tommy Lahren doesn't give a shit about Jacqueline. Tommy Lahren probably is happy as fuck. Let's ask Tommy Lahren what she thinks about the death of the 7-year-old migrant Guatemalan girl, Jacqueline. What does Tommy Lahren think? She probably, she was happy about the tear gas being, shot at them. So she's probably, giddy with overwhelming delight right now. What does Ann Coulter think? And then also, where is Anderson Cooper and where are all these big-time media folks? They're not on the border. Al Green said that the prison conditions are so horrid that if the media had actually covered it, they would have shut down the prison right now. So the media is going to drop this case. So the government's not going to get into it. We're going to have a phony investigation by the Homeland Department. Right? They're going to investigate themselves. They're going to find themselves guilty of nothing, right? They will find themselves guilty of no wrongdoing, so they will absolve themselves of all crimes. And then the media will let it go. The media won't do shit. The politicians won't do shit. The police won't do shit. There's a dead girl. There's a girl that's dead, and she shouldn't be dead. And that's bullshit. When you have a dead body, that's an indictable offense. Somebody committed a felony. Somebody killed a human being. A person had life, and now they don't have life anymore. 7-year-old Jacqueline is going to be 7 years old until the day she dies. She will be forever young. 7-year-old Jacqueline didn't deserve to die. She was innocent. And whether or not you want to point out the father could have dehydrated her for a couple hours, maybe an hour. It's the best thing you could say, maybe a day or two. Perhaps he's totally guilty. Perhaps he had starved her and dehydrated her from December 1st, from when they started. So for 6 days straight. I doubt it. I bet there's some water. Who knows when it actually started or when it actually ended. But the Border Patrol had a hold of Jacqueline for 9 hours. For 9 motherfucking hours. From the evening, from 9:15 p.m. until 6:30 a.m. the next day. And that's what I want. I want to know exactly what those Border Patrol people, what those bus driver people, every single personnel, American personnel that was on the scene, the 3 or 4 border agents, the 1 or 2 bus drivers, I want all their testimonies. I want to know with precise detail who did what on the night of December 6, 2018, from 9:15 p.m. until 6:30 a.m. the morning of December 7th, 2018. I want just those specific 9.25 hours documented substantially with much detail from the 4 border agents, the bus drivers, from the point that Jacqueline was picked up to the point her unbreathing body, her dead body arrived at Lordsburg, New Mexico. And that next morning, 6:30 a.m. I want detailed testimonies. I also want murder charges. I want murder charges. I want to put them on the father and on the border agents. Charge both of them with 2 murder charges. One first-degree murder and the other involuntary manslaughter. And that's it. Just put those 2 charges on. Either first-degree murder, they intentionally killed her. What they did wasn't just negligent. It wasn't just, oops, we forgot. And it wasn't, it was directly, we don't give a shit. The policies directly tried to, that's the point. That was the point of the policy. To go ahead and let her die of dehydration on our soil. So if it's not first-degree, if they didn't do it directly on purpose, then did they do it accidentally? And perhaps a jury might acquit them of either one of those. I doubt a federal, state, or local jury will be convened because there is no confidence in this judicial system. They know that once they are charged with the crime, they'll probably go to jail because it's a racket docket slaughterhouse. But let's assume our judicial branch actually functions, put the charges on them. Put the charges on the border agents. You're going to let the border agents kill this little 7-year-old girl? You're going to let the father kill this little 7-year-old Guatemalan girl? That's who you are? Did they kill her on purpose or did they kill her on accident? That's all the charges that's put on it that I want to know. And if they get acquitted by a jury of their peers, then they're acquitted. I'll trust that. I'll believe that. I'll let it go. So I want to know exactly who did it. I think they definitely killed her at least on accident. If one doesn't take the blame, then they all deserve the blame. The border agents, especially the one responsible, at least one, but probably all of them on duty that night, need to be fired. And I want to hear from Donald too. Donald Trump, the president. What did he say? What does he think about this specific incident? His policies definitely exacerbate the tough on immigration, right? That's what his whole policies is. But what is his opinion on this specific incident? And, you know, when it comes to children, like I can understand MS-13 and even adults, but children, especially from Honduras and Guatemala, why does the Border Patrol, upon their arrival, automatically assume that Jacqueline is a criminal rather than a refugee lawfully seeking asylum? Why don't we do everything in our power to make sure that the children, make sure that 7-year-old Jacqueline, 7-year-old Guatemalan children who are seeking our protection, who might be facing life-threatening medical emergency, why don't we look at the medical conditions before we throw her in a prison, before we throw her in a detention protocol? Even as the number of unaccompanied minors held in captivity at sites like the so-called Tornillo Tent City rise, Department of Homeland Security has blocked outside pediatricians from accessing their facilities despite evidence of medical need. In the rare instances when independent doctors do go inside, they can see the conditions. What they find is alarming. So I want to see Jake Tapper, I want to see Anderson Cooper at these facilities where she died. I want them at the border. I want them at Antelope Wells. Where did she cross? How long of a trek was it? Everything. She was only alive for 7 years. It wouldn't be hard to document her entire 7-year journey. Tommy Larry's probably happy about this. She loves violence against women and children, migrants. And that's the thing that differentiated between the whites and the natives, were that the whites didn't kill women and children. That was the stuff of savages. That's repeated in the literature over and over again. It's the Native Americans that are savages. The Native Americans kill the women and children, not the whites. No, the whites would never kill women and children, not a 7-year-old Jesus Christ, not a female 7-year-old Jesus Christ looking for a place to live. So I want to add clarity to the murder of Jacqueline Cal Macwin here in these divided snakes of embarrassment. A 7-year-old girl died needlessly. It wasn't her fault. It was Neary's fault. And it was the Border Patrol's fault. So, specifically, America, the beautiful America, the great America, I am an American nationalist. I'm also a Colorado nationalist, a Montana nationalist, a Kentucky nationalist. I like the federal system. So, I'm an American by birth, a revolutionary by the awful grace of God. America is freedom. America is democracy. America is not a color. America is not white. America won't be white. And that's okay. America is red, white, and blue. America is brown, black, and white. These colors don't run. And red and yellow. America started out as brown. Even black folks are brown. I've never seen... So, okay. I've said all this, but I just want to make sure that you understand that America just isn't white. White America is a specific part of America, but white America isn't all of America. I see America as just this beautiful place where everybody comes from all different nationalities, languages, cultures. So it's important to understand what we are. Specifically, we are 50 borders, 5 colonies, 900 military bases, and 150 countries. So we're a nation state, right? The 50 states, 50 nifty United States, that is America. The 5 colonies, that's kind of America. That's our territories. And then the 900 military bases, well, then that makes us an empire, right? Well, the colonies make us an empire. So we're an empire, nation state, democratic, republican ideals. We have a federalist system, too. We're many things, mostly good things, some bad. We're a specific landmass, and we're a specific people. But America to the world, the way we should market ourselves is as freedom and democracy. I mean, that's what, we did that shit first. I mean, yeah, they tried to do, something in Greece, but we're the ones that wrote ourselves a Constitution and a Bill of Rights, both which took more than 10 years after the Revolution to get, by the way. But America wrote herself a Constitution, so there's a contract between the people and the government. Our government isn't going to be a hereditary, royalist, autocratic monarchy anymore, not like Europe. Instead, we're going to have a democratic, republican kind of government, a government of and by and for the people. a federalist system where both the states have power and the federal government has power, different domains. So it's a collection of states. A republic, a democratic republic, where the people choose their leadership through elections. Elections are institutions. In the U.S., we've mostly had peaceful transitions of power for our 242-year democratic, republican, federalist, anti-royalist experiment. The institution of elections, the peaceful transfer of power, it's not much democracy, but it's enough. We get a flash of democracy. We get an instantaneous shot of democracy. We get a shot of heroin of democracy every year, and we don't even get the day off for it. So to me, America is both a specific landmass, a specific people who live on that landmass, but it's also more. America is an ideal. America is freedom. America is democracy. And while we suck at both of them, our democracy is ailing, our freedom is waning. We killed 1 million Iraqis in the name of freedom and democracy. That's 1/10 of a genocide, so we better fucking believe in freedom and democracy somewhat. Our entire nation might have PTSD from the Iraq War. So my basic conclusion is that America isn't only white. America ain't just white. America ain't just white. Sometimes we're mixed, sometimes we're brown, sometimes we're black, sometimes we're very black, very brown, very white. We're red, white, and blue. So red, yellow, whatever fancy color you want, mahogany, peach, somewhere in between. We're not a color. We're not a specific color. We're all the colors. And we're also freedom and democracy. So I just want to make sure that if anybody's like, well, those goddamn fucking white boys are all a bunch of white supremacist, racist sons of bitches. No. Some of us ain't. So, yeah. That's exactly what I want to happen with the Border Patrol agents. I want them to be charged with, I want murder charges to be put on them. Let them go through the federal system. Let's see how fair. They probably will get a kangaroo court anyways in their favor. Right? The federal courts are going to investigate their own border agents, but if we're going to be a fair nation that believes in the rule of law, then when the officials commit a crime, we're just going to assume what? The faceless, nameless officials who don't want to answer questions, the ones who are acting guilty as fuck? We're going to pretend that they didn't do shit? No, I don't think so. We need a hardcore investigation. We need detailed accounts of what they did for those 9 hours and 15 minutes from the night of December 6th to the morning of December 7th, 2018, from the point that Jacqueline was picked up to the point that her unbreathing body arrived in Lordsburg, New Mexico. So I want to know exactly what the hell happened. What the hell happened? Where were the mistakes? And while this, you might be thinking, I'm not for revenge. I'm not being revengeful. I want justice. And ultimately, I don't want this shit to happen again. If this is the policy of this administration, then this is goddamn genocide. This is fucking murder on the border. When a kid comes over, make sure they don't get any water, so they die of dehydration, and then the families from back home will say, well, shit, those goddamn callous Americans will let our kids just dehydrate and die. And that'll be, what, fantastic. That'll stop them from wanting to come to the United States, because America is that big of a fucking racist piece of shit that they have no goddamn humanity even for the children of the so-called, illegal invaders, the people who hop the border. Oh no, there's a kid. Oh no, there's a 7-year-old Guatemalan girl. Watch out, America, there's a 7-year-old Guatemalan girl. She's coming over the border. Make sure you capture her and make sure you don't give her water for 9 hours. On Christmas, too. On Christmas. Am I the only one? I think I might be the only one talking about this, but I'm not going to shut up about it either. It's bullshit. I'm probably put out 10 more fucking videos on it at least, because you need to know the facts to this case, and we should keep on asking questions and pushing for changes to happen. We can't have a Jacqueline again. If another Jacqueline happens and you didn't say a fucking word, then blood will be on your hands. This is the point when you draw a line. Are you like these fucking Border Patrol agents? If a 7-year-old Jacqueline Guatemalan girl come up onto your property, you would capture her for 9 hours and make sure she didn't get any water until she died? If you're not like that, then you'll say that this shit's wrong, and you'll speak up, and you'll say something about it to somebody. So, let's get some justice for Jacqueline. Peace. Therese Patricia Okumu. So Miss Okumu, who goes by Patricia. So Miss Patricia, on Monday afternoon after a one-day bench trial in New York, asserting that the protesters' political and moral motivation did not trump the law. I don't know who advised her to do the bench trial. She should have gone straight for a jury trial. She had grown teary on Monday. She told a judge, I mean, they're going to sit there and hit her with a series of federal charges. She just climbed up the Statue of Liberty. The Statue of Liberty is a symbol for freedom, right? America is all about freedom and democracy. Unless you actually exercise that freedom, then they're like, hey, what the hell is going on? I don't know if they were worried that maybe she was like a suicide bomber or some shit. I think it's badass as fuck. And she said she wanted to send a strong statement that children do not belong in cages. And she is absolutely right. So she went as high as she could, and she started to get scared for her life. Gorenstein said something about that it was a petty offense